I didn't even know what a mikveh was, you know, that no one, I'd never heard that word before really, or maybe I'd heard it, but not really fully understood what it was. So those were things I wasn't exposed to as a child. And I did some study, and one of my teachers, she's not a Hasid, but she was explaining how the temple was desecrated with pork, with pigs, that they slaughtered pigs in the temple. And I thought, oh, that is just not nice. I don't care for that type of behavior. I really don't. And that made me feel defiant. And I said, I will not eat pork anymore. And that was a few years ago. And I don't. And I don't miss it. It took a while, but I do not miss it at all. And lighting Shabbos candles, I'm not sure how that came. I forget exactly. You gave us candles at one of our Shabbat at the spa, these sweet little candles that have been made with the laser cutter. The candle holders, and I loved them because I love that whole concept, so I started lighting them, and it kind of got to be a habit, and then I put the timer for Shabbos times on my phone, and then sometimes I would call a friend whose husband was a rabbi if I didn't know, if I had a question, when could I light, or when should I say the prayer, all that stuff, and that became a habit, and I love lighting my candles because Vasi knows I'm so simple and so basic and have such limited understanding of what it, you know, Judaism and the rules and Hashem and all of that stuff, that I ask for something and I usually get it delivered within 15 minutes. Because I think that God knows if he waited too much longer, he'd lose me. My attention would be directed at something else and I'd move on. So I love Shabbos, lighting Shabbos candles, because it gives me a chance to make my whole goodie list of all the things that I want, and then I can just wait for them all to come, and generally they do. And the longer that I've been lighting the candles, the more I understand that I'm not asking for specific things. And now, instead of saying, this is what I want, and this is what I need, and this is what I'd like this week, and all of that type of stuff, I say, I think I'll take what God thinks is a good idea for me, and I'll sometimes watch videos about a certain subject of the Rebbe to understand what it is that I'm supposed to be wanting, you know, because what you want and what you really want are sometimes different things. And then the kosher, Basi and I have been talking about it for a long time, and I was very resistant to it. I don't like to be told what to do. I like to think of myself as the master of my own destiny. And so I watched a video. Which video? What was the name of it? I don't recall.
It was the one 2 days after
his heart attack, the Rebbe's heart attack, and it was so. There was one before, and then there was one 2 days after his heart attack. I forget what the one was before, but he's speaking from his hospital bed, and I'm sure you've all heard that one. And he's so strong, and he's giving all of us, the Jewish people, everyone who can hear his voice, he's giving us comfort and solace and instructions. And he's telling us very simply, maybe preparing us for a time when he's not here physically, while explaining to us that he'll always be here. In that audio recording, he talks about how the tapes and his voice and these videos are the same thing. And so while it's hard, I think, to understand, never having met him, and sometimes I feel like, oh, this would be so much easier if he were here, you know, I could really, maybe that's not true. I really think they're the same thing. He thought they were the same thing, so I think they're the same thing. And maybe it would be harder if he were here. Maybe there'd be more to do, you know, maybe he would actually say, this is August, I'm talking to you, you know, instead of just knowing that he's talking to me. So I heard that video, and I heard the audio tape, and there he is, you know, really a miracle that he's speaking, a man of his age, given the severity of what he had physically endured, and he's telling us what it is to do. And there are 3 things. In the whole wide world, there are 3 things for married women. Just 3. You know, there are 613, but for me, there are 3. And I'm like, really? Okay, I could do 3. I guess I could do 3, right? That's what he wants me to do. I shouldn't pretend that I need him here to tell me what to do, because he's told me what to do, and it's very clear. And so I'll do those 3. And then Basi and I talked about it, and I made a commitment to do it for 2 weeks. And so far, it's going pretty well. I'm keeping going. Let's see what happens. I'm not making any promises. I don't want to misrepresent, but I'm giving it a whirl.